Yeah, I know. Month without a video, all that. Yeah, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it, just sometimes it just be like that. If you want more information, you can go to the community post I made last time. So, we've all seen the current roster plans for Resident Evil 2.0, and there's a lot of different issues in the future roster that we could talk about in a future video, because that's not the point of today. Today I want to talk about what dinos I would like to see in the game in the future, of course, why I would like to see them, and how I would like to see them in the game. I will use the list of possible additions that the dev team has already given us, because I don't want to say something dumb like, yeah, I want Consognatus. Why? Because why not? Of course, there's room to change for plans, and the roster and all that. With that all the way, let's get right into it, shall we? I'll be separating these videos in the 3 different biomes that will come in Resident Evil 2.0, being this the coastal plains, uplands, and the Jurassic. So let's start with the Jurassic section of the map, the biggest in overall surface area, being basically half the map. And I'm starting with the Jurassic because, let's be honest, this is just sad to see. For herbivores, I mean. For carnies, we have a nice variety of playstyle, niches, and abilities. Look, we have a small tier bleeder that can become a night menace that maybe will use some other status effect in the future. I don't know, there's still not that much information regarding Dilo and any future TLC. A bulky and all-rounder scavenger that can discourage predation by causing major damage to the higher tiers, can swim faster than any other land carnivore in this environment, and is basically a jack of all trades, master of breaking bones. A pack hunter bleeder that can destroy the largest dinos with its huge amounts of bleed. A strong powerhouse that, even though it can do just fine by itself, its power scales just so much with its rally call and is able to kill maybe even the toughest of creatures with its immense stress and resistance, rivaling even the herbies it hunts. A massive crocodile form that patrols the waters and punishes almost everything that enters it, with drowning mechanics and bleeding that intensifies a lot in the water. A monster of raw damage and infection that can kill almost everything, even more in pairs, and the biggest giant killer specialized in fever and bleed that nothing in its environment will even think of challenging them. For herbies, we literally have just Stego, Substego, and Tin Stego, and Brachy, Subbrachy, and Tin Brachy. Big variety, ladies and gentlemen. So, let's see. Right. At least we will have Skeletal. Yeah. Okay, there's a lot of stuff that is still kind of missing in this. However, it's still kind of difficult to find any dino that can do the stuff other than, this. But the only actually interesting dinosaur over there is Lufengosaurus. A medium-sized mesospondylid plateosaurid from China. It had 2 species, L1A and L. magnus. I'm gonna use the bigger species, L. magnus. This was a beefy boy clocking at 9 meters, and in length and weighing at the hefty 1.7 tons. This was quite the unit. Also, it's one of the most well-known prosauropods, and we even have embryonic remains of Lufengo. It also was kind of very important for the understanding of sauropod distribution. However, some might be saying, Tamago, what will you even do? Wouldn't sauropods and stegosaurids already do all it can do? Well, no. My idea for it will be for it to be a semi-aquatic. Let me explain. So, the land is already occupied by these guys. trees and ferns eaten primarily by sauropods, and cycads will be basically exclusive for Stegosaurids. But horsetails and any other aquatic flora are basically uncontested. So, Lufengo feeding upon these weeds will be like Dinosaurus, and this will make sense. In terms of gaming, it will be relatively speedy on land, so it can escape turbos, but Yang will be able to keep up pace with it. Yang also will be the biggest fear of Lufengo as well as packs of Ceratops in land. Meanwhile, Makimo will be its main enemy in the water. I mean, yeah, it's a fish eater, but we're talking about a croc that is 2 tons. Anyway, speaking of which, it should also be a good swimmer like Ceratops. I mean, the man is built like a freaking keg barrel. However, it wouldn't just rely on really be just a wader that relies on water. It should also be able to eat different trees, as well as maybe even eating some meat. Whilst this niche sounds weird, I feel it makes sense not only in gameplay variety, but also being a prosauropod, aka old guy, el viejo, old yeller himself. I believe it behaving like what we used to think sauropods behaved like, so in water and eating water plants, would be a nice little window to the past. Also, yes, this is basically Dinosaurus, but with a mixture of Iggy over there. However, I will also prefer this over another Stegosaurus or sauropod. In terms of attacks, I have 2 ideas. A complicated one and a simple one. I'm gonna start with a complicated one because the simple one is just so simple that, yeah. So, for attacks and abilities, I would like it to have a bite and a weak slap that, may do more damage than bleed for its M1 and M2 respectively. But then, by pressing the middle mouse button, it can rear up, making it unable to run and just walk around and use its arms for powerful scratches and slaps. However, it should also be able to turn in place like what Diplo used to do with its stomp, basically trading speed and movement for damage output and survivability. By raising its upper body, it will make its neck and head unreachable for Dilos, Ceratops, maybe even Allos. And M1 will be some scratches and slaps, while its M2 will be a stomp, similar to Diplo, but without the massive damage and can actually be used in combat. Also, it will take away its reared up stance, once again, like Diplo. If not, just make it simple. A claw swipe and tail slap. We don't need to beat around the bush. Making it more combo oriented dino that's its very, very obvious weak spot for high scratch damage with bleed, and then slaps the head with the tail. This mainly for Ceratops, Allos, and maybe even bad Yangs. It will also help against Makimos in water by tail kiting or just slapping the heck out of it if there's no other option. So yeah, Lufengo will be a tough nut to crack that should stay near the water's edge so it can escape from land to water because of Cerato, Yang, and Turbo, or from water to land thanks to Makimosaurus. But when in combat, it can defend itself very effectively and also requires some brain activation on that put your booty towards your enemy, and will give variety to the honestly speaking boring herbivore roster of the Jurassic. But I can't really blame the devs for this. Bigger, more derived families of herbivores didn't appear until the Cretaceous, and the Jurassic is known for sauropods and stegosaurs. Oh wait, there's another guy here. Camptosaurus. Yeah, I'm going to be completely fair. I don't think Campto will give anything of value to the game. I mean, look at Tenonto. It would only give Edmontosaurus a new master requirement, and it's a total waste of resources to make essentially a copy-paste of Sintao. But if there's no other option, then Maybe make it like a sentinel for other herbies or give it a fast dodge, I don't know. Kanto is just a waste, to be honest. Also, the Jurassic lacks any pterosaur. So, there, screw it. Anyway, it's one of the largest pterosaurs during its time, and its wingspan is also difficult to estimate. Some put it at 1.6 meters, others at 3.8 meters. However, 3 meters is more likely to be the closer, to the real size. Honestly, because we still don't have any information regarding the flight system, I can't give any ideas on how it will fly. But in terms of gameplay, I have two options. A vulture that can feast on the unfortunate, starved, or dehydrated from the harsh conditions of the desert, or by helping by eating the gigantic sauropods that are always gate-kept by 2 or 3 of the surviving killers. My other idea is making it more of a fisher, or a bald eagle to be exact. Basically, is mainly a fish eating, but can scavenge and even kill some bigger things. I mean, we're talking about a creature with big teeth. But it will be just Pteranodon that doesn't have, pierce damage, it's just bite. So yeah, that's the video. If you have any idea on what else to add to the Jurassic, please put it in the comments below. I'll read all of them. Have a good one, and nos vemos el próximo mes.